Welcome back, Truth Seeker. December 27th, 2018. This evening, the top news story, what happened in New York City. The sky was lit up blue and it was blamed on a transformer explosion. Quite the excuse. Transformers explode fairly often, and turning the sky blue is not typically what they do. If you're new here, if you've never visited my channel, you should know this is my 18th channel due to Google's censorship. For 5 years straight, I've been exposing how every single day, all throughout this world, news is contrived by a code. And this story fits right into that perfect pattern. If you're not aware, I have a book. There's a chapter in that book about New York by the numbers. There's a very special number to New York that's been with New York since the day it was established, July 26, 1788, that rituals are done by again and again and again and again. And that number is 39. 39. And what day did this happen on? December 27th. What is 12 plus 27? It's 39. So, before we go ahead with this, I'm going to show you what a ritual this is being blamed on a transformer. I need to educate you on the code. When I began teaching this code 5 years ago, I knew about 2 ciphers. Since then, I've learned more. The first 2 ciphers I used to teach were the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. If you take the alphabetic order, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. The abbreviation for New York, NY, ends the 14th letter, Y is the 25th. 14 plus 25, the abbreviation for New York is 39. The next cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. It's this dark blue cipher. And you notice when you write out New York, it sums to 39. The way this works is N is the 14th letter, but you take the numerology of 14. So 14 is 1 plus 4 is 5. E's the 5th letter. W, the 23rd letter, becomes 2 plus 3 is 5. Y, the 25th letter, becomes 2 plus 5 is 7. When you write New York using this cipher, it equals 39. It's not an accident that the World's Fair in New York was in the year 1939. It's not an accident that the United Nations in New York is 39 floors tall. It's not an accident that New York was established July 26, 1788, a date with numerology breaking down to 39. 7 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8 is 39. It's not an accident that George Clinton, the first governor of New York, has the same birthday as New York, July 26th, but was born in the year 1739. And the name George equals 39. And the name Clinton, when you flip the alphabetic order around, equals 39. Every single Super Bowl won by the Giants and the one by the Jets, they all come back to the number 39. The entire world of sports is scripted by this code. Saquon Barkley, his first NFL carry was for 39 yards and not by accident. It's how scripted sports are. The Giants are known as the G-Men, 39. You know, the big sports / concert venue in New York is MSG 39. So look, I have to go back and fill you in on these other 2 ciphers here. We have the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Then we have the reverse alphabetic order, making Z1 counting back to A is 26. It's doing the alphabetic order in reverse. Notice NYC is 39 when you use the alphabetic order in reverse. Look at New York, comma, NY, like how you'd write it out on an envelope. It's 39. New York, comma, NY with the reverse alphabetic order and the rules of numerology. That's what this last cipher is. The reverse alphabetic order and the rules of numerology. New York, 39. How about just the word York alone? If you turn the alphabetic order around, York is 39. New York's known as the Empire State, Empire 39. So here we are on this 39 date, and we get this big New York story. The sky turned blue from a transformer explosion. Looks more like a bomb went off. And what is New York home of the Manhattan Project. That's right, the Manhattan Project. And what were they developing there? The atomic bomb, which has the gematria 39. Also 93, reminiscent of the 93 World Trade Center bombing on February 26, where the bomb supposedly detonated into the ground. You know, the terrorists. Remember, the terrorist was the blind sheik. They blamed it on the blind sheik. The 93 World Trade Center bombing, just using the alphabetic order, blind sheiks 93. But anyway, no doubt what went on in the 93 World Trade Center bombing was foreshadowing for what was coming on September 11, 2001, where they called the site Ground Zero. Ground Zero. The only definition of Ground Zero before 9/11 was the place above or below ground where an atomic or nuclear bomb explodes. And then what did they call that building that they built there? The One World Trade Center. Another 93, 93, 39 reflections of each other. Anyway, no doubt that what they did today is a military experiment, you know? And for all of you saying, is it aliens? Here's what I got to tell you. I don't know, but aliens does have gematria 39. And when I think about this world that we live in and the technology that we're all using right now, computers, internet, even televisions, phones, all of this seems beyond human capability, if you ask me. You know, I understand how a man can find a stone and sharpen it and turn it into a spear and find some sparks and make fire. That all seems within human capability. But this technology that's dominated our lives, not even to mention the weaponry, which is insane, it seems beyond human. So anyway, let me tell you a few more things about this ritual today and the transformer blowing up in Queens on the 27th. So we covered the 39 thing very thoroughly, right? Today's date, December 27th, 18. It's also a date with 57 numerology. Transformer has that gematria 57. They're blaming this on a transformer explosion. And again, every single day, your news is contrived by this code. Made up stories, contrived stories, done in numerical ritual every single day. And I figured this out from 9/11. I was nobody's fool on 9/11. I said, please, a national emergency on 911, buildings disintegrating to dust in midair, blaming it on a man in a cave. You must think I'm retarded. And soon enough, I found out that, well, almost everybody was, but I wasn't. So I began research and I started to figure out that, oh, this is how these people work. They work by numbers. Every day of our lives, they've been contriving news by the numbers. In case you're new here, something I educate about is every time the media emphasizes a phrase, like Transformers tripped offline, every time they do that, they're emphasizing something that's relevant to the story. That phrase, when you take the alphabetic order and you turn it around and use numerology, sums to 147. Just like the word transformer with the alphabetic order. They're both 147. The thing about 147 is it's a very special number to the Freemasons. The Freemasons use this code of letters and numbers. Almost all the founders of this nation are Freemasons. Freemasonry runs the show. And don't ask me if Freemasonry is controlled by aliens or Anunnaki or fallen angels or reptilians, because I don't know. But something's going on. These people are very calculated. They do everything this way. They're ritualistic. They're highly advanced. They're military. This is how they do it, though. And these numbers are important to them. I said George Herbert Walker Bush would die at age 94, and he wouldn't make it past November because of this code and this number 147. He died 147 days after his son's birthday, George W. Bush, the two men who were president. And the words U.S. president and president of the United States sum to 147, like how there's 147 windows on the White House. I'm just telling this so you can understand that these numbers are not arbitrary. And with regard to the question of aliens, it's also coded all over everything we know about space. Outer space is also 147. Spaceship is 147. This number is coded all over the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Again, all of this stuff is covered in much greater detail and much more clearly explained in my book. But understand, when you learn this code, you start to see the repetitious use of certain numbers and what they belong to. You know, and we're starting to see more and more stories of the sky getting lit up blue. You know, Elon Musk, SpaceX, which does everything by the numbers. You know, they keep lighting up the West Coast blue with their rocket launches. Now we get something like this in New York, but this time it's blamed on a transformer. Now, what about the explosion being in Queens? In Queens, it was a Queens plant where the transformer exploded on the 27th. Notice, Queens with the alphabetic order and rules of numerology sums to 27. And when you flip the alphabetic order around and use the rules of numerology, it's still 27. Again, these are the ciphers that you just learned about. Notice the 8181. Notice the 27 here. Watch what happens when I write in ritual. Very similar. And this is a ritual. This is a coordinated, planned event with a planned excuse. You know, maybe the transformer did blow up, but it wasn't what caused the sky to be blue. Whatever they did to cause the sky to be blue is probably what blew up the transformer. So anyway, you learn this code, you start to see what's going on in the world. And when enough people are aware of this knowledge, you know, when it spreads enough, it's going to help more people connect dots who have more information. I've been pumping this knowledge out for 5 years, proving day after day that everything is rigged and scripted this way. That comes through the media. That's the key part. That comes through the media. Everything the federal government does is this way. The news, the world of sports are rigged and scripted this way. You can learn more by reading my book. It's linked in the description of every video. It's nearly 800 pages long, and it's priced at $5, even though it should probably be worth, I don't know, more than whatever your college tuition costed, because I guarantee if you read my book, you'll learn more in that book than you learned in any 4-year program. Probably more than any master's program, probably even more than any doctorate program. Everybody needs to know about this code behind the English language and how it's used every single day to mock our existence. This story is a mockery of our existence. A transformer did that. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. And again, all of these stunts that they do to us, they cause inconveniences. This shut down LaGuardia, they said, for a period of time. Sure, it knocked out people's power for a while. And why? You know, why do they need to do this to us? Again, I'll remind people, I'm not here to spread fear, but people should be aware of where they live and at what day and age. This happened in the same nation where a little bit south of New York, there's the state of Georgia, and there's the Georgia Guidestones, right? The Georgia Guidestones, have you heard of those? It's amazing how many people are like, what, the Georgia Guidestones? Yeah, they've been there since 1980, March 22nd, 322, Yale Skull and Bones, the Masonic Order. It has so much influence in this nation. The Georgia Guidestones, they're 10 commandments for the new world. And the first commandment is to limit the Earth's population to 500 million, which means if the world has 7 billion people living on it now, that means 13 out of 14 would have to go. And, you know, I don't think we're picking up on the signs that are right in front of our face. 9/11 was a sign, you know. Stories like this are a sign. What's really going on? How about all the movies Hollywood's giving us right now? All these end of the world movies, zombie apocalypse, you know, all the scares with the Ebola and the Zika, Sanjay Gupta, CNN's TV actor, doctor, trying to scare us each time. But are they really warning us? No. And here in the United States, we forget that we live on a land where the native people were genocided. We forget that. So we got a caller. Let me